Michel Pereira versus Zelim Imadaev just took place on the main card of UFC Fight Night Vegas 9, Overeem versus Sakai, and among all of the fights on this card, there was even a great one in the co-main event. I'm actually going to choose this one to break down as my second fight reaction of the card this weekend, because I've got to go to bed because it's 22 minutes past 4 AM right now upon time of recording. Michel Pereira versus Zelim Imadaev is definitely going to get chosen by me to break down, because what an amazing performance that was. I could talk about OSP versus Manyfield. Maybe I'll give a quick breakdown now. It was a great KO from OSP, but there's just not really as much to sink my teeth into than there was with this one. OSP looked really good. He caught Alonzo Manyfield coming in. I picked him to win as well, by the way. But Michel Pereira stole the show of the card, in my opinion. I mean, there were some great performances all throughout the card, but Michel Pereira just won over a bunch more fans. It would not surprise me if his Instagram followers go up by hundreds of thousands now, because he's just added way more highlights to the highlight reel. I mean, he did not get the finish that he wanted. Well, he did get the finish, which we're going to talk about straight away. Before we even get into the great performance from Pereira, let's first break down, because I know a lot of people are going to want to talk about this immediately. Let's get it out of the way. That was not a tap. Okay, in any other circumstance, I would be kind of annoyed by that situation, because that was not a tap. It's very lucky that for the referee's sake, very lucky for the referee's sake, that Michel Pereira was destroying him the entire time and was on his way to clearly winning that fight, because any other circumstance, if this fight is somewhat competitive and the referee does that, that's an absolutely shambolic call. I know it looked like a Zelim Imadaev was reaching up to tap, but he wasn't. He was reaching to the arm so he can fight the choke, but still, the fight was called off. In any other fight, I'd be annoyed by it, but because of how much Michel Pereira dominated and how little time was left in the round and the fact that he had his back anyway, like, I did not see Zelim Imadaev getting out of that position, and he was being completely dominated before then. A 10-8 round in round 3 for sure. I don't know about 10-8 rounds in any other rounds, but I think the official scorecards were 2 10-8 rounds to Michel Pereira, which is really crazy. I think he was 30-25 on the scorecards going in. If the fight was over, it would have been 30-25. So I kind of excused the referee's call, because it did kind of look like he was reaching up to sort of tap with his fingers. But, you know, you've got to let him give the tap, because it's a rear naked choke. He's not going to die with a second to... Like, you can let it go a second. Like, fair enough, KOs, you have to be in there reasonably early. But with a rear naked choke, let it go for half a second longer. Like, you know, it wasn't in that deep. Like, he was eventually getting it in. He didn't have any hooks in. It was in deep. It was actually under the chin on the neck. So it was a dangerous rear naked choke that probably would have led to a tap anyway. But let it go for a second or two, referee. You know what I'm saying? But talking about the fight, let's get straight into it, regardless of the stoppage. Michel Pereira looked absolutely awesome. This was a close match. It started as evens odds, which I put money on because I knew that Michel Pereira was going to end up as a big favourite. That's usually the way I'm liking to bet nowadays. I did pretty good betting-wise on this card, but that's where I like to bet. I like to put my money down early. I used to wait for the weigh-ins. Now I like to put it down early when the odd lines are wrong, so I know and try and guess where the odds are going to go to see if I can get better odds on someone. So that's exactly what I did for this one. I picked Michel Pereira to get the job done against Zelim Imadaev, and he did exactly that. Went out there, great front kicks. I want to talk about the slaps. Forget fucking the Diaz brothers. Honestly. Fuck the Diaz brothers, yeah? Honestly. Fuck them. Fuck them. Who the fuck are they? Honestly, I don't even care about the Diaz brothers anymore. I really don't, because the slaps that Michel Pereira did in that fight were better than any of the Stockton slaps I've ever seen in my life. They don't even need to call it a Stockton slap anymore, because Michel Pereira, I don't want to just pass over this without breaking it down with the right emotion that I need to. Michel Pereira was like this. He entered slap mode. I've never seen someone enter slap mode. I've seen people slap people. I've seen that happen. I've seen it when someone punching someone, they'll throw in a slap. I've seen that very often in the UFC. One thing I've never seen is someone enter the realm of slap mode. I've never seen it. He literally opened up his hands and said, alright, nothing but slaps. Here we go. Slap, 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 slap. Landing. I think he landed double-digit slaps in this fight. It was so good. There was one moment where he's pointing at his right hand, touched his right hand, shook it up and down, and just fucking pelted a slap right at Zelim Imadaev's face. He was just stabbing him with a jab the entire fight as well, stabbing him with the front kick, then just slapping him on the way in. Honestly, I said this during the fight as well. I don't think I've seen more of a mockery of someone in the octagon, especially at this level in the UFC, because you see a lot of the time these MMA fighters get extreme karma videos. They happen outside the UFC. Sometimes they happen in the UFC, but it's never usually so massive. It's usually someone like drops their hands or something and then they get caught by a big punch. But Michel Pereira was asking to end up on a cocky MMA fighters get KO'd compilation. He was asking to end up in one of those YouTube videos. Dancing around and then out of nowhere, right hand clean on the jaw, rocking Zelim Imadaev all over the place. It was a great performance. And one thing that it showed me as well is that he is no longer headhunting. He did go for the flying knee a couple times in this fight, but when he saw that it wasn't there, he didn't keep going for it like he did against Tristan Connolly. He showed me, like he showed in the Diego Sanchez fight, but now I'm looking back at that Sanchez fight, he really could have capitalized a lot sooner on Diego Sanchez and probably finished him in the first round, looking at his performance against Zelim Imadaev tonight. But still, he showed me that he's no longer headhunting. He's not joking around with this. Like, he's using his flamboyance and entertainment side to benefit him towards a win. Because against Tristan Connolly, I get rolling thunders, which also happened in this fight. I get wheel kicks. I get turning back. I get anything. I get anything he wants to throw. I don't even know what some of the moves he was throwing. A jumping Superman punch off the cage. Jumps off the cage with a Superman punch. I get those moves. He even did a Showtime kick in this fight as well. I mean, it was really good. Spinning back kicks were landing, as I said before. There were good shots landed, but it wasn't unnecessary backflips for no fucking reason, like I saw against Tristan Connolly, which I like to see. It was good shots to the body, good body shots with the hands as well, other than the front kicks to the body, some good leg kicks as well. One thing I noticed about Pereira, he doesn't commit to leg kicks. He doesn't commit to round kicks, period. Something I noticed about Pereira. He was throwing some decent switch kicks to the body, but I don't think he has good shins. I don't know why, but when I watch Pereira fight, I think there's something. I don't think his shins are that conditioned, because he doesn't go for stuff with the shin. He does the ball of the foot or the heel. That's all of his moves. He does throw some stuff, but he seems very hesitant to really commit to a shin to bone shot. Just something I've noticed in Pereira's career. But maybe his shins are a little bit fucked up over his entire year of a career of kicking shit and jumping around everywhere. But still, I think Pereira looked amazing. Great performance, 21-6 on significant strikes round 1, 28-10, 39-7. And Zelim Imadaev literally got embarrassed, because this was a close fight. I thought Zelim Imadaev was a good underdog. I picked Michel Pereira to win. I thought he was probably going to get a finish in the first round. I think it was better than a first round finish, because we literally watched him mock Zelim Imadaev and embarrass him for 3 rounds. That's all we watched happen. Michel Pereira toy with his food for 3 rounds when there should have been a close competitive fight. And one thing I'll mention as well, Zelim Imadaev had the clinch a couple times. We've seen Zelim Imadaev take a couple guys for a ride, including guys like Max Griffin, who is somewhat of a scrappy guy when it comes to the takedowns and the grappling. Okay? He can go back and forth with wrestlers. Zelim Imadaev was in on some takedowns, and Michel Pereira is a real strong guy, because he shifted him off, got the underhooks, landed some good knees, went really well to the body the entire fight, that ultimately ended up with him completely dominating, because Imadaev could never know what Michel Pereira was going to do. Imadaev was having good success when he was actually throwing, but it seemed like too much of the time he was just so wanting not to get hit, and that's something that I said would happen. I thought we were going to see a hesitant Zelim Imadaev in this fight. I said that in my video, but Imadaev is coming off a KO loss for the first time in his career. I said this in my prediction video: if I could pick one fighter not to fight after a KO loss, it would be Ngannou, but it would also be Michel Pereira, number 2. Close second, Michel Pereira, because he's so wild and dangerous, and you know a highlight reel could happen. It's one of the worst guys to go up against if you're struggling with a bit of confidence because you've just been KO'd stiff by Danny Roberts for the first time in your career. Looked very hesitant. Did not want to get KO'd. Almost got KO'd in the first round with some big shots. Michel Pereira looks amazing. Great performance. I don't know who I want to see him fight next, but Mike Perry. Mike versus Michel. Sign me up. Sign me up to Mike Perry versus Michel Pereira. Sign me up to Michel Pereira versus if Nico Price beats Donald Cerrone. Sign me up if Michel Pereira wants to take on the winner of Miguel Beza versus Mickey Gall. Sign me up for any of those matchups right now at welterweight, because they're all so fun. Any of them. Michel Pereira is obviously not going to earn himself a ranked opponent right now, but he's a huge name. And I like that. I like that he's built himself a big fan base because he's must-see TV right now. He's entered that level. We were talking about this during the fights in my live chat. He's entered the realm of must-see TV. You have to tune in when Michel Pereira fights. Something crazy is going to happen. Like, I was commentating a fight and I said casually, rolling thunder from Pereira. No other fighter would I say casually, rolling thunder from this guy. Any other fighter, I would go crazy for a rolling thunder. But with Michel Pereira, it's so crazy that I can so calmly call out that he did a rolling thunder because it's so normal to the other crazy things he's already done. This was better than a KO. This was a mockery and an embarrassment and an absolute public shaming for Zelim Imadaev. I hope he bounces back because Zelim Imadaev is actually a really good fighter, but, you know, now his record, I believe, is 9-3 overall, which is never a good thing. You know, I think it actually might be 8-3. I could definitely see the UFC probably cutting him because 8-3 is a fucking record that is top 10 women's flyweight, but, you know, even in the women's division, I mean, Nami Yunus's record says otherwise, but, you know, that record doesn't belong in the men's divisions. I think we can all agree on that one, unless we're at heavyweight maybe, and even then, we're getting a little bit risky. But Zelim Imadaev, young guy, 25 years of age, you've got time to bounce back outside the UFC, and you clearly have some holes in your game. I say to Zelim Imadaev, get swept up by another promotion, win 2 fights, offer to come on a Contender Series, say that you want to come on a Contender Series, win a fight there and get back in the UFC by the time you're 27 or 28, a bit more well-rounded. That would be the move for Zelim Imadaev, but for Michel Pereira, any matchup ever, please, because they're all going to be really fun. And I would love to see any of them. So yeah, do that. Maybe the winner of Court McGee versus Carlos Condit. Maybe not. Maybe not that one, because we don't want to feed the veterans to him. But I would like to see Michel Pereira take on someone who's a big name at welterweight outside the rankings, and I believe that Mike Perry is that big name, because Michel Pereira versus Mike Perry, headliner of the prelims of UFC 256, I'm watching. I'm just watching. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait for it. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Michel Pereira was performance of the night, in my opinion. Definitely going to earn himself a performance bonus even without the finish, or he did get the finish. So, even though he didn't get the finish because Imadaev didn't tap, but whatever. I mean, he'd probably get a performance bonus regardless. There's no way you can't give him a performance bonus there after he just literally entered slap mode. That needs to be said again. He entered slap mode. Slap time. Slap, 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 slap. Slap, slap. It was weird. I'd never seen anything like it, and I loved every second of the humiliation. Like and subscribe. Click that button there, and goodbye.